Those of you joining in for the first time, this is Tunapan here, founder of Master the Markets, Illiterates Conference, and the Traders Open Day. So, without further ado, let's move on into the performance review for this month. And this month is going to be in September, which also coincides with our Q3 performance third quarter. Okay, time is flying by really fast, isn't it, traders, right? So in a few more months, we'll go into the new year and be wishing everyone Happy New Year, right? 2026. So let's end the year strong. So let's keep in focus and in momentum. Let's review our progress as professional traders. It's always important to keep reviewing our progress. Okay, so in the live trading room, what we got so far, in terms of September, we were down a little bit by minus 1.68%. So we kept that drawdown really nice and small and tight. Now, what were the two strategies that were contributing to that? Both the 20% OE and TSL primary was a losing month, and then 80% OE, which is almost a very high reliable strategy, but very small profits, came in at 1.20, which then smoothened out the drawdown from the two other strategies, which then brought it down to minus 1.68. Now, overall, for Q3, we are up 27.41% in the live trading room. That's at 1% risk taking per trade and non-compounded as well. So quite conservative. Here, these three strategies over here that we do is given as examples for you to see how this open equity methodology really works, because we are the only one company which tells you how much move is left on a trade on a probability basis. Okay, all our clients say that they haven't seen anything of those stats ever before. Now, in each of these tabs over here, as you can see, it shows you the trade by trade breakdown. So Lawrence, who is the live trading room manager, is the one who manages all this journal over all these many years. Really amazing. He and his team really does an amazing job. And you can see over here, right? So across all the instruments over here, we're doing about 9-10 instruments. You can see the profit and the losses. The thing about in this strategy is that there is a high rate of winning, but when it loses, it does lose about 2 to 3 times its win. Okay, because some risk management in place as well on some lower probability trades. Okay, you can look at that as LTM Advanced members. You can look at that in the Dropbox folder in our rules section. Okay, so in terms of all of these traders, you can see in September, this 4 trades on 80% OE is the one that contributed to the winning part over here. And that was from Brent, dollar yen, and a few more Brent trades in GBP/USD. Now, in terms of TSL primary, what I can see is that none of them really ran. I mean, Brent was a break-even. We thought we'll get a good runner, but we didn't in terms of Brent. I'll actually bring it up over here. Let me see if I can bring up Brent as that's loading up. And in terms of GBP/USD, dollar yen, and again Brent, we didn't get a good run once again. Okay, again we had another opportunity on the 21st of September, but again that didn't follow through. That happens when it sometimes consolidates, but when you take the trade, you don't know the outcome of the trade, do you? So you've got to take them consistently. Now, in terms of the other ones, let's see. Now, if I were to show you that diagrammatically, so let me see if I can show you that. Let me see. So I can just show you in terms of here. So the Brent on the 4th of September, right, is what we are looking at. So let me see. The Brent on the 4th of September is what that one over there is what we're looking at, right? So over there, it did look like a good trade over here. I just went down a little bit in terms of 50% OE strategy. It did hit the target, but in terms of the other ones or 80% OE, it did hit the target, right? So short distance covered. but then after that it reversed immediately. So we didn't get a good runner on that one in terms of TSL primary. Didn't get the trail as well, to be honest. So on the weekly, however, you see it's looking like a downtrend, isn't it? It is a downtrend systematically. And now it's also taken out this low as well, okay? We'll be taking a look at this low to be taken out. If it does take out that, then we will get a good carry through, okay? So wait and see on that one over there, traders. All right, on the daily. On the monthly, it's looking like lifting off and some support there, but we'll see whether it takes out that level, isn't it? That level over there on the weekly is this one here, traders, okay? Let me see on the monthly, what does that mean? It means this one here for this month low, okay? So I'll keep an eye on that, and we'll see if we do get any trades based on that or not, okay? Right, so that's that one there in terms of Brent. So that wasn't very successful for us. And then the other one that we did take a look at was GBUSD and dollar yen. Okay, very similar stories as well. They're all consolidating. You're not getting a good carry through. Okay, so we had this one here. I believe it was on the 5th of September, was it? Let me just check that. Yeah, it was on the 5th of September. Is what we had. We had a long trade on that one, and in terms of that, we were trailing that, but I think our trail was still below the entry, and that's where I think we just lost a very little bit, break even, not much, but it did travel a bit of open equity. That's the nature of this game until we get to a trailing stop that is locks in profits, or it gets to the target. It's not yours, right? Because it's not realized yet. So on dollar yen, that didn't really work out very well because as you would have seen on dollar yen, it's consolidating, but on the weekly, it's still in a downtrend phase two, but it's pushing up higher and higher. It might become a variation two, variation one actually break out to turn the trend around. Now, in terms of the liftoff, liftoff has been now one of our best performing ones. Now, in September, there was just a little bit small win over here, and that was on Brent because we got in a bit more earlier. This based on a primary setup, which you would have learned, most of you Ultimate Advanced members, on the session number 2. Okay. Now, overall, if I were to take a look at the performance in the Q3 performance, right? If you look at the table below here, okay, so if I zoom in a little bit more on that, traders, you can see that over here, I am looking at the 1-day exit here. If you take a look at that one, see very high reliability, right? But then if you take a look at the ratio, it's only 0.5 to 1, okay? So this is actual, this is the most important one, okay, not expected. Because expected, you can put any kind of target that you want, isn't it? Um, from your risk, you can just do 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 5 to 1, you can just put it. But this is called expected. But actually, in real time, what happens, okay? After you trail your stop loss, after it hits a target, after it hits your average loss, average profit, or your trail stop loss for small profits, what then happens? So this is the actual, this is very important. And we got that over the last 13 years we've been going live, okay, on the live trading room. So you can see that this is a 0.5 to 1, but because it's got a high reliability, it comes out net profitable at 10.65 this year, okay. Not every year is the same, but overall, it does maintain its consistency, okay, and its drawdown especially is what we keep monitoring. We've done extensive analysis on the 1-day exit, so I highly recommend you guys to take a look at the recordings as well on this. Now, in terms of the TSL primary, you can see very low reliability this year. Some other years it's done very well, but this year has been quite low reliability. Net profit is very small, 1.69, almost breaking even, just a very little bit of profit. But even if you take a look at the average profit to loss, it's still very good, healthy 2.16. But because its reliability is suffering, that's why this year is very little. Okay, net profits 1.69. However, liftoff has really surprised us this year. It's a really good reliability, usually actually quite higher than expected for this long runner strategies, all because of the good volatility that we're seeing due to Trump and the US. Okay, but of course volatility is good and bad, but we were able to catch the good side of it, right? And able to catch some really good runners, especially on dollar yen. Okay, so this year has been very good. Last year, usually it's been quite slow liftoff, but we combine basically moving averages and also OE data onto this strategy. Okay, those of you in Ultimate Advance, you would have learned this fully inside out as well, and you would have seen that over here. The total profits and total loss, the average profit to loss ratio is 3.01. Look at that, right? So it's very high, isn't it? Yeah, actual. And in terms of net profit, 15.07. Okay, so it's done really well. You can see how the average loss is kept really small over here. Okay, 0.45. All right, that's why diversification, which we talk about in session number 5, actually in the Ultimate Advanced Elite Coaching Program, is very, very important. Diversification can be done in 2 ways. Okay, and we talk more about that as well over there. Right. So that's what we got here, and that's what's actually producing the results that you are seeing so far. Now, from a cumulative perspective, when you take a look at the equity curve for this year, this is what we are having. Drawdowns are pretty okay. I mean, started off with a quite a slow start. It dipped below the baseline, and then it was a nice steep ride after that, after February, and then after that, nice up peak, and then slowing down a little bit over June, and then shot up towards July and into going to August. August we don't trade, so it's flat, and then September, October, November, it's been a little bit flat, as you can see from the results over here. Okay, so that's what you can see. So it's been pretty slow. We kind of captured most of it in the first 6-7 months of the year. Right, so that's what we got. In terms of cumulative performance, you can see on this tab over here, over the last 13 years, we've been running this since 2012. All profits and losses all maintained. But you know, over the years, we have tweaked the systems a little bit. It's only since 2022, I would say, traders, that we stopped actually tweaking the systems that much, really. I mean, you can see 2022 was a monstrous month. It was a ride in the park, 73.34%. Not much drawdowns at all. 2023, we had 10.67. A lot of it was zapped by the 80% OE strategy, which we then had to review, which is all documented inside the monthly momentum sessions, as well as the live trading room section as well under resources. And then you can see in 2024, again, it was maintaining at about 11.72, which is quite normal for this kind of trending strategies. And then finally, 2025 is bumped up again to 27.41. Now, when you take a look at all of them, right, traders, and you put them all onto a curve, you can see over here, that's how it looks like. Good amount of consolidation. A lot of research was done around this period. And then after that, then you had nice takeoffs, and then it got a bit more smoother and robust over here. What we really want as professional traders here is that each valley that you see, the dip, shouldn't take out the previous valley. And that's what we're seeing all here with the live trading room strategies. Okay, over here it did do that a little bit, but it's expected with trending strategies with the markets. Okay, if you want to really balance them out, Tom Basso and Lawrence Benstock will call this filling the pit holes, and then you need further diversification. Okay, right, so that's how it looks like, 174% over all these years. Remember, this is all end of day strategies, just to give you an example of OE methodologies. And I think in the beginning we only started with 6-7 instruments, and then we expanded them to over 10 instruments right now. Some of our clients even do it over 20-30 instruments. At 1% risk of 1,000, let's say that will be 174,000 over 13 years. Remember, this is non-compounded and all at 1% risk. It's not about the monetary amount, just to show you what is possible. And some of our clients are trading on much, much bigger accounts and over more instruments as well. So you can actually do more, even more than that. Some of them apply all these principles to intraday strategies also as well, not just end of day. Remember that we are strategy developers, so we can develop any kind of strategy. We've got lots of intraday, but it's just that we need more manpower to trade all of them. So those of you who are quite interested in all of this, you should definitely join our live trading room team, and you can definitely contact us in terms of that as well. Okay. So that's what I wanted to say in terms of the performance review